If God's children are now religiously segregated, for which, according to the Webster's Dictionary, is defined as set apart or separated from others of the same kind or group, then when would God's children ever be unified? Right? Now let's unify. Okay, this is the Webster's Dictionary, brought together as one. How can, if the Jews in Jerusalem crucified Jesus of Nazareth of Galilee, for which then created Jesus Christ, did not the Jews in Jerusalem segregate God from his body? Oh, let's think about this now. Set apart or separated from others of the same kind or group. So now, if Jesus of Nazareth of Galilee was flesh and bone, and then Jesus Christ became Jesus of Nazareth of Galilee, did not the religious people set him from his group, his kind? He went from human to spiritual. So who segregated Jesus of Nazareth of Galilee from his mother Mary? It was not Joseph. It was the high priest Caiaphas, his spiritual father. It wasn't the father that God, whom was his spiritual father, who impregnated Mary, if that's what you want to believe, but he told Joseph to raise him as his own. So Joseph was his earthly father, for whom was his spiritual father, who gave him his understanding of God, right? Now, the high priest Caiaphas was supposed to be the conduit between God and his people. But he saw fit to crucify the Son of Man. Now, when then would religion ever unify the body that is segregated? See, because now you all them segregated my family, right? And my friends have broken up my black family's portrait. Now let's look at the portrait, right? Okay. The picture, it's called a picture now, especially a pictorial representation of a person usually showing the face. So now, if my friends have expelled my face from my family's portrait for 15 years, are they the Lord in this instance if we live in out of Genesis 3? Did they cast me out my family based on what? Their religious beliefs? See, because if they have no legal basis in destroying my family, then how is it a divine revelation? How? If there's no truth in the revelation, how is it divine? But now, if the Bible is now revealing biblically what is happening presently, is it not historical in nature? So now, where is the historians who's supposed to be putting this history in chronological order so it could be as defined as the word history is defined? Now, history, let's go to what history says. See, because if you're not going to do right by this, then who defined it? See, it's a chronological record of significant events. Now, you telling me that the collapse of the economy in 2008 is not a significant event? Let's break that down. Significant, having meaning. So you're saying that what happened in 2008, the economic collapse of the global market has no meaning. Now let's look at meaning. The thing one intends to convey, especially by language. So now, if your historians are now omitting legal revelations, then what history is your historians revealing as revelations? Because whatever you're going to print is you saying is from God. And what I mean by print is what you're going to recite to the next generation. See, what they gonna learn in school is what you're going to print. So if the historians are not going, if they're going to omit, now let's look at omit. Let's break it down now, because that's what you're doing. See, you see, if you're going to omit, is to leave out or leave unmentioned. Me, Tommy Chancey Counselor Sr., who manifested. Now let's break manifested down. She readily perceived by the senses, and especially by the sense of sight, right? The second one is easily understood or recognized by the mind, my truth, which is defined as the body of real things, events, and facts inside of the civil and criminal courthouses and Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida on August 12, 2008 at 10:40 in the morning, as well as inside of the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida on February 20th in 2018 at 9:20 in the morning. Then how can you omit that truth, right? Now, how can you omit? Let's go back to the definition. Now, it says to leave out or leave unmentioned. So how can you leave out a legally manifested truth and say that the history that you're going to give to the next generation is from God? Now, let's look up God now. See, let's look up God. Now, this is the Webster's Dictionary's definition of God. So that means that they have some kind of inclination of what God is or who it is, right? Because how can you define something that you don't imagine or you didn't imagine or you haven't met? See, you can't give definition to something that don't exist. See, so now they call somebody God and they define what they saw in the person that they call God. So now this is me saying, well, look, I'm from a descendants of slaves who were denied the right to read and write by this entity called the United States of America. This is history. So I have had to come from a broken royal bloodline, right? And I had to do it divinely. Now let's break up before I do the God. Now I'm gonna do the divinely, right? Because I want you to understand of relating to or proceeding directly from God or a God, right? So I'm saying it's a God or a God. So I'm saying that I'm my God. So now I'm saying, well, who is the God that they had in court in America that say we trust in? See, so I'm saying, well, I couldn't trust in that God because of the judges who say that that was their God. So I could only trust in my God, right? So now this is, and I'm saying I had to do it divinely, right? So it's a relating to or proceeding directly from God, which is when the next generation see me in court, then their salvation gonna legally come from me, because I'm gonna make sure that if they right, then they gonna get their life back. Now, but if they wrong, then they gonna have to pay for their wrong, but they not gonna be overcharged. See, that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, no, I'm not taking the burden away from the criminal. I'm taking the unjust punishment away from the criminal. I'm saying you're gonna get punished according to what you did, not how this judge feel about you. See, so that's why I'm taking the prejudices out of the justice system and I'm putting love back into it. Because see, my son, my daughter know that they were punished when they were wrong, but they were loved when they were right. And then they was given attention so they can get the love that they desire. See, my children were raised. They had it all. They had the love and correction. See, my kid, my dad ain't never whooped me. Ain't not one of my kids can say, Dad, I didn't whoop him. See, because I love them, but I didn't abuse them. See what I'm saying? I didn't come home because I had a bad day at the job and take it out on my family. Nah, I didn't do that. See, I used to pull over, drink me a beer, and calm down. I used to be like down the street from my house just before I go home, because I had to be a husband and a father. I couldn't be a raging maniac, man. Them people had done pissed me off so bad that I had to realize, man, you finna go through a gated community. Man, your people told you you'll be dead by the time you was 18, man. You 35 years old, man. You finna go through a gated community. And then once I put everything in perspective, then it was easy to pay that cost. See, that's what I'm saying. I was telling y'all about, they say if you building a tower, Luke, say if you building a tower, what man does not sit down first and then add up the cost so that he'll be able to finish it? And that's what I'm like, man, I added up the cost. I can remember the conversations that I had with myself. See what I'm saying? Like, Tommy, man, this is worth it, because you had to go through this anyway, because you was going through it for nothing. And now you going through it, and you finna go through the gates to get to your house, and you finna hit the button and go into a garage, and you finna see your Corvette. You finna see all the things that you wanted, and you finna let ignorance take that away from you. And now here my friend done took it away from me, his ignorance and their ignorance. And I was sitting up there telling myself not to be ignorant, and now the ignorance of someone else done took me out of my home. And then that person say, man, you all over the place. I'm saying, man, you all in my business. And then you won't even listen to me tell you what I done did to handle my business. But you telling me I'm all over the place. And I'm saying, well, you in my business. Why don't you listen to me tell you what you in? Because you in my business and I'm in control of my business. See, I handle my business, but I can't handle your business. See what I'm saying? So what I did is I handled the business that the law told me I could handle. And I wrote about how I handled the business. And now I'm trying to monetize just like the state monetized when I had to pay $1 for my own written work. So now if I had to pay $1, then why you don't have to pay $1 if I paid $1 to you? Because I paid $1 to the state of Florida. See, but now here my friends saying that what I paid $1 for is not worth $1. And I'm saying, well, it's worth $1 a page if only you understand my business. See, we're not even talking about my value. We talking about the value of one page of my work. See, is worth $1 because it cost me $1. You see what I'm saying? But I'm giving it to you out of love for humanity. But your inhumanity won't allow you to accept a legally manifested truth. So what is your religious belief if it does not recognize a legally manifested truth?